Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is Assassins, a crime film from 1995. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to rent on Amazon Prime. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot.
Welcome to Screen Riot, the podcast where we review a movie chosen by fate. Have you ever spent more time scrolling through Netflix than actually watching a movie? Or do you go back and forth with your significant other and argue on what to watch next? If you answered yes to either of those questions, then this is the podcast for you. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and alongside me are my co-hosts, Eddie, Kyle, and John. And each week, one of us spins the wheel of genres, and the host must pick any movie that falls within that genre. If you'd like to see all the movies that we have reviewed so far and how they rated, visit screenriot.net and take a look at the movie ratings page. And at the end of each show, we're going to spin the wheel again and see what the next movie that we're going to pick so that you can follow along at home. If you'd like to hang out with us live, please consider joining one of our Patreon tiers that includes Discord access and joining on the fun conversations we've been having lately. And we're also excited to announce a great opportunity for any of our listeners to be able to commission personalized movie reviews. Just head over to screenriot.net, click support, and you can learn how you can have us review one of your favorite movies, or perhaps force us to sit through one of your favorite worst movies.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
It would be fun.
You're already doing that.
Well,
Just saying.
and
No, you're doing that every episode.
yeah,
We also have a newly redesigned online store up. If you go to screenriot.net, click on shop, you can go see the new items and all the cool designs that we have added recently. And finally, thank you for listening. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the show and also tell a friend about the show because that's how we grow as friends in podcasts.
in the community.
And the community.
Yeah.
Yep. So with all that being said, the movie we're reviewing today is Assassins from 1995, and the synopsis is as follows.
Or ass ends.
Assassins.
Assassininos.
Assassinos.
Professional hitman Robert Rath, played by Sylvester Stallone, wants to fulfill a few more contracts before retiring, but unscrupulous and ambitious newcomer hitman Miguel Bain. Miguel, sorry.
Jesus.
Miguel Bain, played by Antonio Banderas. Is that fine?
No.
It's too much chit chat.
Yeah.
You put the wrong emphasis
I
on the
did?
wrong syllable.
Oh, well, good. Well, anyway, Banderas keeps killing Rath's targets.
Yeah, like an idiot.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the film is 2 hours and 12 minutes long. It's rated R, which actually kind of surprised me, but I guess maybe not when you think back about the movie. And it was directed by Richard Donner. So we talked a little bit about Richard Donner in the previous episode. If you're not familiar with his work, he's done some movies like Superman from 1976, Lady Hawk, Lethal Weapon, Conspiracy Theory,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff, right? Just go look him up on IMDb. So this was not nominated for any Oscars
Oh.
for the 1996 stuff, but I'm always curious to see what did win Best Picture or what was nominated that year, right?
Yeah.
So what won was Braveheart
Oh, yeah, okay.
from 1996.
Gotcha.
And the other contenders were Apollo 13, Babe, The Postman, and Sense and Sensibility.
I like Babe.
Yeah.
I like The Postman, too.
You talking about the one with the pig?
Yes.
Babe?
That'll do, pig.
Jesus. The
That'll
Postman I liked, but Babe, talking pig?
Yeah.
Not so
I
much.
like Babe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Apollo 13 was okay.
Apollo 13 was
That's
good.
all right.
Yeah.
It was just okay.
It's
You don't
okay.
understand. Apollo 13 was a given. I
Kind of subpar, I guess.
What is it? What is it on your scale? A 2?
Yeah. I really love the movie, but it's actually like a 4.
solid 3.5.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like other people. Okay, so go ahead.
Assassinos.
Well, before we get into the plot here, something that was interesting that I found out about Assassins is that Mel Gibson was interested in directing this movie. But he decided that he was going to go to direct Braveheart instead.
Interesting.
Good choice.
Yeah.
In which that became, the Oscar Best Picture winner that year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I like Braveheart. I like Braveheart. Historically, it's considered one of the worst movies
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Oh, like historically accurate.
There's nothing historically accurate about the movie. Basically, there was a guy
named
William Wallace
and Robert the Bruce
and that's where it ends. Like the people existed, but everything else about the movie is fabricated.
It did happen in Scotland. So
yeah,
there's that
I guess
piece.
There's parts of it. Yeah,
There you go.
But Jesus, like look it up online. It's considered one of the most historically inaccurate movies ever.
Yeah,
I do think it's better than Assassins, though. So good job, Mel Gibson.
Don't rain on his potty.
Enjoy your sex
Yeah,
island or whatever it is you live on now.
No, he really wanted to direct this because he really liked the script, apparently. But basically, scheduling conflicts got in the way, and he wanted to do both the same year, but he just couldn't because Braveheart was, an epic kind of movie. So.
I couldn't imagine doing both movies at the same time. That would be horrible.
Yeah. So Assassin starts off with we see Sylvester Stallone leading an unknown man into the swamp for his execution, but instead of killing him, Stallone, the kind-hearted assassin, lets him kill himself, basically.
It's got one bullet.
You're Sylvester Stallone, by the way. We just started. It was really good. It's starting to sound very Sling Blade.
Yeah.
Just, you want to give it?
Not through that magazine out.
Want to give your Stallone another go?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'll let you live. You got biscuits and mustard.
Yeah.
In the swamp.
In the swamp.
Yeah. So then we learn that Stallone's character is named Robert Rath, and he receives a new murder contract for $200,000. So right off the bat, this was one of the things that annoyed me about the movie, like throughout the entire movie, was the expositional dialogue that was used. Like, for instance, in this scene when he's on the computer, he's basically just talking to himself.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, one more. And then he types out the thing, and then he gets a response, and he goes, okay, there's another contract for $200,000. He goes, okay, one more. I'm going to do one more. And we're like, yeah, I got it. Thanks, Stallone. And then he types out a response, and you go, oh, fuck, I hate this. And, it's like, come on.
I just want to retire.
Yeah. And it's like every character in this movie does this, except for Julianne Moore. She doesn't say her thoughts aloud like Miguel.
No, I don't think she does.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe in the hotel room for like a brief second whenever she's dealing with the Dutch guys, but I think she's actually talking to the Dutch guys on the radio at that point.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me. Am I the only one? Or?
No, actually she does do it because when she's watching her neighbors in a creepy stalker way,
right.
She's talking to the TV. She's like, oh, come on, Susan.
Exactly.
I mean, he's obviously a wife beater, but I'm not going to report it to the cops, even though I'm going to watch you get your ass beat. I'm not, just... Susan.
Oh, you poor thing.
The whole time.
You poor thing.
I just want to point out, by the way, if she was a male, this would be the most creepy scene that she set up videos about all of her neighbors apparently in her entire building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is am I wrong, or is this like a step away from very, very creepy? But because she's a female, we're like, oh, that's funny. She's just paranoid. She's just keeping an eye on her neighbors.
Yeah. No, it is weird.
She's not watching them have sex or anything at night. Think about this for 2 seconds. She doesn't see that dude get out of the shower and or take a shit. She's not watching that take place or anything. We'll forget about that, right?
Yeah.
Think about all the creepy things you do in your house. This lady's watching you. It doesn't matter, but she's watching you at all times.
She probably just starts playing with her RC car.
It's really weird.
I don't know.
She was practicing so she could make it go 2 floors down in an AC system.
We'll get to that.
God.
Well, it did bother me a little, but what bothered me more than that was that he should have just retired because he can type with one hand. I mean, and not only that, he can type and put numbers. He can type letters and put numbers on the screen.
Oh, I know.
It was amazing talent.
I've been practicing that since I was 13, and I still don't have it down.
Oh, and this was also sponsored by Apple, apparently.
Oh, I know. All the power books that are shown on here.
Every single computer was the exact same computer.
Yeah. Now, there's a rumor, and I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I've heard a rumor that Apple will not allow a villain in a movie to use an iPhone on screen.
Not now. Yeah.
Now, right? So it's interesting. I'm wondering if any of these movies, like in the early 90s and stuff that used like Apple products, if that like factored into that decision making at all, like Assassins.
Right.
For instance, right? Both him and Banderas use this Apple PowerBook to communicate with the contractor.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's it's kind of interesting to see Apple like in a movie like this, and it's I guess it was what 96,
95.
Yeah. So 1995 was that when they kicked Jobs out?
Oh, that's a good question. That might
So
have been
I'm wondering if they're
97-ish.
like pushing their product out and they're like, we're still relevant. We can still do cool stuff, right?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to have somebody look that up. I think it was around 97, 98 is when
we can
he
do
got pushed out.
hacky stuff.
Because he came back in around 2001-ish.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
started the whole iMac line.
He returned in 1997 to
Okay,
Apple.
97 is when he
Okay,
came
so
back.
you
Okay.
returned. Okay, so it might have been that time.
So
Yeah.
it was
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was pre Jobs. Jobs probably went. Yeah, this doesn't look good, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. First of all, change your shirts, all turtlenecks,
Yes.
and stop using our product for villains. Okay.
All turtlenecks.
Yes.
Jesus. I do want to point out, by the way, Bond villains have cornered the market on turtlenecks for like the last 60 years. Anytime you see a guy in a turtleneck, he always looks like he's going to go, "Hello, Mr. Bond." Like every time.
Yep.
Even that was slightly New York, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep, slightly.
Jesus, like,
Every
I
accent.
Can't win. Can't win.
Can't wait to hear your Stallone.
I can't wait to hear Banderas.
Oh. Sorry.
I'm Antonio Banderas, eh?
Well, speaking of Stallone's voice in this movie, I could hardly understand him in certain scenes. Like he would just mumble. I know that's typical Stallone, but it's just like, can you get closer with the boom mic?
You're
there,
right.
audio guy.
You're right. I watched it with closed captions, and that was even gobbledygook.
The captions did leave off a couple of syllables.
It did, yeah.
Question mark. Question mark.
Go
question
back,
mark.
go back and rewatch Rambo, and you still can't tell.
Yeah.
The world war is hell.
Maybe that's why all the guns were silenced in this.
Oh, so you could hear
So you
Stallone?
could hear Stallone better.
That's
That's
probably it.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Solved the
Silence.
problem.
Silence, quote unquote.
not a fan.
Yep. So Robert Rath plans to kill his mark at a funeral where he hides his gun in a fake cast, but right before he's about to kill his target, player 2 enters the game.
Yeah. Right.
Antonio Banderas, I'm going to do it every time,
Yeah.
is able to snipe the target first. So then Banderas has a small shootout with Robert and the police and is eventually arrested, and then he quickly escapes. So one thing I wanted to mention about this up to this point right here, there's been a lot of stuff happening, and we're only about 15 minutes into the movie at this point.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, hold on, there's like 12 bodies, a kill count of like 12 people already in 15 minutes. That's almost like a person a minute.
Almost.
Is there that many?
It's not. I'm
not
being
that
facetious.
many,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say it's like 5, I think, right? 5 or 6 solid ones.
Well, I mean, if we count them real quick, we got the
The guy in the
execution in the
swamp.
swamp. We've got the target in the funeral, and then we have the 2 cops at the funeral, and then we have the 2 cops driving him in the car,
Yep.
and then we have the 2 other cops in the other car.
Did those guys die, or did they just get hit in a car accident?
No, the cops died.
Yeah, he shot them both.
Okay,
That's-
so
and that's
there's-
why they.
So there's like 8. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
there's
gotcha.
like 8.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a lot.
There's a lot.
It's
There's
a
a lot of
decent
kills.
body count. I
Yeah.
mean, Deadpool had more, but I get you. Yeah.
All by Antonio Banderas, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
At this point, Stallone hadn't killed
He
a
hasn't
single
killed
soul.
anybody yet.
Well,
So it's 8 to 0.
the guy in the swamp doesn't count.
No.
But Antonio Banderas didn't get him, so 7. I'm with you on that, because that wasn't part of the that we
You're
counted
right.
him.
So
in the
7.
8.
So 7
yeah.
to 0.
Yeah. The only person we see him kill, and technically we don't see him kill, is Nikolai, the guy we
Right.
don't even
Well-
know in the
well,
black
Well,
and
actually,
white.
we'll get to it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
actually
Yeah,
kills
yeah.
2 people,
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
but
Yeah.
But I love the
He's not
cast
much of an
gun.
assassin.
yeah, he's not much
No,
of an assassin.
Not in this movie. Yeah, he's the star assassin. This
would've-
great assassin that everybody looks up to, at least especially Antonio Banderas'
That's
character.
shit at killing people.
And he hasn't killed a single soul yet.
He would have killed the people, but Antonio Banderas killed him first.
Look, let's just call him Zorro. Let's just
Zorro?
call him
Zorro.
Let's call him his best role. Zorro.
There you go.
That's,
Okay.
No, that's our Puss in Boots.
Desperado, which was the better assassin movie that Antonio
There
Banderas.
you
was
go.
Oh
in.
yeah,
That's what
true.
I mean. Yeah,
I
it's
like
the
that one.
much better
Oh, yeah.
assassin movie. And he kind of is a shadow of himself in this movie.
Kind
he's a
of.
greasy, wet shadow of himself in this movie.
Yeah.
Can
There's
you
a lot
blame
of
him?
running.
Yeah, he's running. He's always in a suit. He wore 2 outfits at the gravesite. He had a jumpsuit on, and then he quick changed into like some nice suit. It looked like a preacher of some sort.
Yeah, that was his getaway. Actually, now that you bring that up, what was Stallone's getaway plan?
to climb into his car to pretend that he was just one of the normal
right, but
funeral goers.
But he was going to shoot that guy and then just walk away.
He was going to put the tape back over the.
I guess it was silent. That's right.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. He's going to put the tape back over the cast and then get into his car and drive off.
I love the cast gun. The cast gun is awesome. That's a genius idea.
Oh, the old Silence 22 and the cast trick.
Yeah. But what's funny, I laughed out loud when I saw the ejector port cut out of the cast as well.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's good because yes, you do have ejecting casings and it will burn your arm if it stays in the cast.
That's true.
So it needs to eject.
I don't know.
Look on Eddie's face.
This movie hurts my head.
But
the whole
But
movie.
when I saw him with the cast on, I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be like one of those, shoot through a pillow thing. And then he flipped open the hole in the cast. I was like, genius! That's awesome.
Genius, really cheesy. Yeah, either one.
Hey, you
right?
know what?
You know?
I haven't seen a cast gun
Since one of your
in a-
1940s movies that you love.
in
Exactly.
a very long time.
It's that level of plot writing.
Yeah.
It's really old, not that creative.
Well, it is pretty creative.
Debatable.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I liked
I'm
it.
sure you did.
It was fantastic.
Here's the thing. I kind of want him to make... I'm surprised Justin didn't pick this movie because the lines that should have come out of Sylvester Stallone's mouth in this movie are the lines from what's his name in Johnny Dangerously. Like I was waiting for him to be
Joe
like,
Piscopo?
yeah, I'm waiting for him to basically be like, this cast gun shoots through schools, like that level of stupidity, because
it shoots through gravestones.
yeah, because it's just the whole movie's cheesy. It's like Sylvester Stallone was in a comedy he didn't know he was in. Antonio Banderas knew it was a comedy. He didn't take himself too seriously. He's like, haha, chit chat, for no reason whatsoever, because they told me I should be greasy because I'm Spanish and in this movie, haha, stereotypes everywhere, fucking stereotypes. And then you got
true.
Sylvester
It's the
Stallone
90s.
being like, hey, they told me to play it straight. Here I am. Don't smile, they said, until I look at what's this redhead's name? Yeah, and then you have Antonio Banderas just being the only one with a pulse in the whole goddamn movie.
electricity.
I don't know. I just cannot stand Sylvester Stallone's face in this movie.
Well, it's Stallone. He's got that
Yeah, but I really like him in Rocky.
droopy face.
But I really like him in Rocky. Like in Rocky, he's a really good actor.
So you like them all cut up and bruised up and everything?
Well, not I didn't say the makeup. The makeup is a damn piece of roast beef slapped on his face. But I'm saying the acting, he does better in that movie. Of course, he's a dopey boxer in that movie. What do you know? He plays dopey boxer really well in every goddamn movie he's in.
Well, what I've noticed about Stallone is he acts better in movies that he writes and directs.
I agree.
You know, so he knows himself, and this is like, okay, I'm writing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was better in Cliffhanger than he was in this.
Yeah.
And in Cliffhanger's really bad. And I still thought he was better in Cliffhanger than this. What? What's the face?
Cleveland Cliffhanger's bad, and I like that better than this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great movie by any means. I mean, there's literally every they have a motley crew of European assassin hitmen stereotypes in Cliffhanger. Everybody's a goddamn stereotype. And he's like, oh, I'm like the frozen, mountain guy. Whatever noises he makes. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger with less forehead. And and even that compared to this is, at least he has a pulse.
Well, after
Segue.
that whole scene, Robert steals a taxi, and he picks up Banderas as a passenger, and we find out that Banderas' name is Miguel Bain, and is a big fan of Robert Rath's assassination works. But he wants to kill him. He wants to assassinate Robert to become number one.
But he can't because there's bulletproof glass
Because there's bulletproof
between
glass.
him and the cabbie.
Yeah.
Like, when did New York City put in bulletproof glass in between the two passengers?
Has that not always been a thing?
It's all the rage. Haven't you heard about
I
it?
don't think so. I think it was just very thin plexiglass.
Yeah, very thin plexiglass is what I'm
And
used
even
to.
when he banged on it, like he knocked on it, I'm like, that's very thin. That's not bulletproof at all.
Right.
No, and then you have the continuity issue
Yeah.
of he shoots it
right.
with the damn gun, and it catches the bullet, right?
Like
bulletproof
bulletproof,
glass.
yeah.
And then Sylvester Stallone overreacts and hits the glass and manages to crack the quote unquote bulletproof glass. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's how hard it is. That's how good he punches.
That's how buff he is.
That's right. Because
right.
Sylvester Stallone is now Chuck Norris, and we're just taking these memes to a whole new level where somehow it's even real in the movies now.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But I tell you though, the cab scene is one of my favorite scenes in the film. Mm-hmm. It's when Antonio Banderas decides, I'm in a lose situation here, so I got to change the status quo.
Right.
And so he starts threatening to kill one of the kids at the soccer game.
Yeah, there's a soccer game playing right next to them where they're stopped, and he has a sniper rifle with him. So he's gonna try to say he's gonna kill one of these kids if Stallone doesn't drive the car. Yeah,
which causes him to finally move.
I gotta say though, like when he's actually trying to, I guess, point the gun like around the bulletproof glass into the passenger side window,
which is now would be the second thing we've seen him do this maneuver.
So this thing is, I mean, it's rough. And that's what I like about it, because it's not clean. In a lot of other movies, when you have actors that are climbing out of cars, it's very easy, free flowing. They do it without any skill, right, and effort. And this scene, when they're like driving through New York, it looked very dirty and nasty and like rough. Like the guy was getting beat the hell up against this bus, and I'm like, okay, this is actually some really good shooting here. I like this a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would imagine he would get hurt though from being ground to a pulp.
Yeah,
the side of a bus.
But that part, far-fetched.
Maybe he was so sweaty and greasy it just slid right off the bus.
Right off of it.
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Richard Donner was like, "Oh, so you're Hispanic?
Oh,
plot point.
Can we add more grease, please?
Oh, geez.
No.
Can we get Mr. Banderas'
But like
grease man
when
on
John was
thing?
saying that he liked the conversation that they had in the cab.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think that's those parts, like in the very end of the movie when they meet again face to face. I like those interactions.
So do I.
Those interactions are really cool, just because it's assassin talking to another assassin. It's like you're talking to your coworker, but yet you're trying to compete for the next bid or something like that, right?
Yeah. So they have a little car chase that we just described a little bit.
Yeah.
They get away from each other or whatever. But then Robert gets a new contract to kill a security expert named Electra, played by Julianne Moore, for $2 million, who is an eccentric cat lady for reasons.
That's right. She's a ghost.
I can't come up with a reason why she's.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in love with her cats to a very weird. Ruby, what was her name?
Pearl.
Thank you. I knew it was the name of some old woman in a damn retirement park. I knew it was that, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I mean the cat does come into play a little bit, like she,
really.
but not really. She leaves him when she's trying to escape from Robert. She leaves the cat around, and Robert grabs it. But then they get. So there's a few scenes in this movie I would absolutely cut.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like okay, for instance,
Just a few.
Just a few. So this is a 2 hour and 12 minute long movie. The first thing I would cut is when Miguel is in the backseat of the police car and they're driving him, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then he does the whole tries to shoot him.
Yeah.
He kills the driver and the car flips, and then he escapes. Right. I would have ended that there, but they go a little further and. That car is being followed by another police car who he turns around, he shoots the two policemen in that car, and then the car accident wrecks into the other car, and there's this whole big thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like it adds like another 2 minutes to the movie. Cut it. Gone.
Yeah.
The other thing is the scene that I was just about to talk about, which is the cat trying to find out where this lady lives by going to the pet care
store.
Yeah, the pet store.
Yeah.
And somehow the pet owner knows who the cat is and who the owner.
But hold on, small business owners in the United States. Okay, it's a very very
in
tough,
New York.
It's not New York,
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah.
It's a very very tough industry. Okay, I mean you gotta really know your clientele, and she knows them to a very creepy stalkery level. Maybe she also knows that Julianne Moore has decided to bug her neighbors in her building with video cameras and deciding, you know what, tit for tat. I'm going to bug you as well.
I totally forgot that this wasn't in New York. I keep associating cabs with New York, but every city has yellow cabs.
Yeah,
apparently.
Exactly. I forget.
Well,
it starts off in New York.
Does it? New York, yeah.
That whole cab scene was in New York?
New York.
Yeah, because he was trying to fly out.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, he's trying to get away.
His Electra is in Seattle.
That's right. That's when they go to.
He goes to New York, or to Seattle, yeah.
And then they go from Seattle to Puerto Rico. A Caribbean island that's unnamed, but it was actually shot in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Which, by the way, is like the Wild West. You can just have a shit ton of gunfights and no one knows anything. There's no cops for miles, apparently.
Well,
it's
except
amazing.
for security guards with suppressed Uzis.
Yes, that's true.
That don't fire a shot, but, whatever.
So Electra is in a hotel room where she's going to sell some kind of secret MacGuffin information on a disc to send Dutch baddies. I don't know. This whole scene is just kind of blah to me.
It's a throwaway scene.
It's 90s.
Yeah, she's trying to sell some information on a disc, and the Dutch people are in this other room, and she's trying to transfer information.
Okay, I do think that the way she has that set up is smart, right?
Yeah.
The problem I have is that she apparently is on, I think, floor 7 or 8 or something. They're on floor 5, and apparently she can make this RC car not just drive through AC vents that are oversized. I can deal with that to a certain extent. I dealt with Die Hard, and nobody can fit into a damn AC vent the way that Bruce Willis can. But apparently this RC car goes up walls and shit.
Wait.
They're on completely different floors.
Yeah, but are you sure the Dutch guys aren't above?
The Dutch guys were above her.
It doesn't matter. That means that the RC car is driving to the end and then dropping down and somehow landing on its tires and then still driving.
It drives,
lifted up its back thing and
then dropped the money down to her.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. So you mean to tell me the vent just so happens to curve?
Exactly.
She picked those specific rooms for that specific reason.
That's right.
Eddie,
she got the blueprints and everything.
Never mind. It's a 90s Sylvester Stallone movie.
Thank
I'm
God
not going
we
to try and
invented the
pretend
hotel where all the vents connect and
Let's just talk about Demolition Man. Let's just go completely outlandish if we're going to do this. Let's just go. Yeah. We froze him and woke him up in a different century. How about we do that?
One thing that I found kind of funny about this was
the 3 seashells. No, okay, different movie. Go ahead.
Different movie.
He doesn't know about the 3 seashells,
right? That's what I'm saying.
These guys were Dutch, yet they were all speaking German. I thought that was odd.
Is it Dutch German?
I guess. But the other thing was, did anybody catch the file sizes that they were transferring to disk?
Were they kilobytes?
No, they were in megabytes.
Okay.
But they were like 213, 212.
Well, it's just text. It's just text.
But they're going to floppy drives.
Yeah.
Which are 1.44 megabytes.
Yeah.
Not even the highest compression at the time.
It's the power of those Apple PowerBooks.
You're right. That's exactly what it is.
Well, these floppy disks they're industrial Julianne Moore level hacker floppy disks, so they get way more kilobytes per acre.
And I loved when they stick the floppy disk into a drive and it flashes a certain color and they're like, it's blank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Okay.
You can't know that.
They should have just used zip disks and call it a day.
Shit, they might as well have used laser discs and just been more impressive. It's because it's chrome. Like, I mean, again, I just chalk it up to it's a 90s Sylvester Stallone movie. But it's okay. Let's keep going.
Yep. So as the Dutch guys are waiting for Electra to finish copying over the data, Miguel busts into the room and kills all the German guys. Electra stops the transfer when she realizes something has happened. Robert takes the disc from Electra and they both leave. The movie becomes a cat and mouse kind of game where Miguel is chasing them kind of around.
Happens for a while.
Yeah, for quite a while. After a little bit of a shootout, Robert tries to kill Miguel by blowing him up with a gas explosion from a gas main.
Happy birthday, asshole. That's my favorite line in that whole damn movie.
Yeah, which the reason he says that is because Miguel did tell him earlier in the movie that, hey, today was my birthday.
It is my birthday.
So
I think it's just because he had that little gift from the couple that he just murdered.
Yeah. Yeah, body count number 30 or something from Miguel.
He's like, I'm just going to pretend it's my birthday today.
Yeah. But any notes about that? Like, I'm getting some like Indiana Jones 4 kind of vibes with nuclear explosions and refrigerators.
Yeah, he got blown out of a third-story window, landed damn damn close to the cement
Concrete,
and everything else. My thought on it was slanted grass, so he didn't actually land from 3 stories up. He landed at like 2.5 on his side.
But you think
he rolled out of it?
A wood table would stop you from that giant explosion that happens outside that window?
So here's the problem. I do actually think that the wood table would protect you to an extent because it is just a fireball. Mm-hmm. It's got some pressure, but it's not enough. I don't think there's enough extra garbage to necessarily... I mean, had there been like ball bearings in whatever he threw into it, then fine. But it was just fire. I mean, it would suck. But the thing is, I was actually more hurt that he wasn't more injured. Right. That bothered me more. Had he like landed and broken some ribs and shit, then I'd be more okay with it. But
which he may have because he was in a bathtub soaking.
Oh yeah, and another chance to make him more greasy and sweaty.
with some minor cuts on his shoulder.
Yeah, he had some minor cuts and all.
I just think he walked away from it a little too easily.
Honestly, to me, what I can live with the falling from the 3 stories and not being injured.
Well, it happens in movies all the time.
Suspension of disbelief. I can do that piece. Mm-hmm. What bothers me is it looked like to me, and I might be wrong, but Stallone grabs just like dark liquor, dark whiskey, and pours on there. To my knowledge, there's no like dark whiskey like that has enough alcohol content.
To light up like
to
that?
actually light up like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, alcohol doesn't burn, right?
What does?
Well, yeah.
There's
I mean, you can.
Does. Yeah,
you know the drinks they set on fire.
Yeah. So then Robert agrees to sell Elektra's disc for her. So he goes to the whole tram station. He sells the disc. He gets a suitcase of money. But then he realizes that the suitcase has a bomb in it. So they end up driving around for 20 minutes. And
didn't notice until it starts to mess with the radio, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. And then they try to find a convenient place to put a bomb. So they throw it into a dumpster instead of immediately throwing it outside or something.
Sometimes, or was it with the Batman thing? Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Exactly. Well, no, it's because of Robert Rath's code.
Right.
He couldn't hurt an innocent person, so he had to find a dumpster. And luckily, the timer that we could not see lasted until just as he put it in the dumpster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was just a bug on like a tracking device or something.
That's
like
what
that.
I thought. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, just toss the briefcase. No indication that it was a bomb whatsoever.
Yeah.
No like movie tick tick.
I guess it was a remote detonation, so they probably hit a button, and then that's what interrupted the radio, and then started.
This guy has obviously carried a lot of money before. How come he didn't notice the weight was different?
Yeah. And was it $20,000?
No. $2 million.
It's supposed to be $2 million.
Oh, it's $2 million. Yeah, $2 million. $2 million in it was originally 2.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes up to 20.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
that's when they go down.
That's right.
And they're going to wire it and all that kind of stuff
to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, the bank is going to take $4 million off the top, and he's going to walk out with $16 million in a messenger bag.
Yeah. Don't you walk around with $16 million in a duffel bag?
It's not that. $16 million takes a lot more room than a damn duffel bag, way that he's got it. And
actually, in my notes for that scene, we'll get to that in a second. So we do see a major plot point here of where Miguel is talking to the contractor, and now the contractor is saying, okay, you got to go kill Robert Rath.
Right.
That's now your mark.
Say the magic word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
So
basically, Robert and Elektra, they go to Puerto Rico, and they are going to go to the bank. Robert believes Miguel will try to kill him the same way that Robert killed his other associate, Nikolai. Mm-hmm. So they devise a plan to entrap Miguel.
Which, by the way, is this one section is probably the only watchable part of this movie to me.
Oh, see, this is where it like slows down for me.
When he's explaining it, right? When he says, he's going to be up here, it's going to be really hot tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, so he's explaining his plan. That goes on too long,
right?
Clearly. And he loves history,
but I like the plan, right? Yeah. Then we go kind of next day ish. And Miguel's actually playing out what Sylvester Stallone says. And it starts
before we do that, we go to night on that same day.
Yeah.
They're hanging out in the hotel room, and the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Dios de los Muertos.
Yeah.
Dio de los Muertos.
The word that the Hispanic guy said. So that happens. Then they have this little cat and mouse game between Elektra and Miguel.
Yep.
Because he realizes that she's there, kind of thing. And,
Jasmine.
yeah,
Yes.
it's through the whole cemetery, and then he realizes what he smelled was Jasmine, and he thinks he smelled her perfume because of that little throwback,
which he did,
of Chekhov's gun.
Yes.
Earlier of the perfume. But then he realizes, through expositional dialogue again, Jasmine, it's everywhere. I'm smelling it everywhere.
Blech.
Right?
Yeah, because you can't think anything in this movie.
Exactly.
You have to say every thought.
Exactly. Which I hate.
Yep.
You can definitely act that thing out. But this is another one of those scenes that I would just get rid of.
Oh yeah, that whole night scene in the cemetery
it doesn't do
gone.
anything.
It gives no movement.
Exactly.
I agree. It doesn't move the movie along. Basically, he goes, I think I thought something. No, I did not. And next scene. It's dumb.
Now, if he would have kidnapped her, or if it did something like that,
Yeah.
then yes,
Or release.
great scene.
Yeah,
That would've
because
taken
they
this movie to a whole new level.
Yeah,
Right.
because they
Yeah.
planned everything. Well, a kidnapping would definitely
This
throw
is
a
a
big wrench in
wrench
there.
in it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe when she went out on the patio or the actual balcony thing,
Right.
I thought she had gotten shot
Okay.
because he's Sylvester Stallone. He's talking to her and everything, and he's like, Electra, are you there? And then I'm thinking,
It's getting better.
she's
That is better.
she's on hanging over the edge or something like that because he had found them, and that would also throw a wrench because they need two people to
to
do
pull
their
off this plan, yeah.
Even though they have two people and the plan still gets fucked. But anyway,
No, it doesn't. It actually works quite nicely.
it works okay.
Yeah.
It works okay.
It could have been a lot better. The plan could have been a lot better.
Well, she money pits in the middle of the plan.
Be
But
like-
go ahead. Yeah.
Be like, okay, hey bank manager, I just gave you $4 million.
Yeah.
Can I use your back door
Yes.
so I don't have to, possibly get shot here?
True.
And send the love of my life, apparently, that's going to cause me to finally retire into harm's way to get the rifle to then shoot him.
Yeah, I don't.
We need to come back to the love of the life thing, by the way, because that's very unclear in this movie. Are they friends? Are they friends with benefits? Are they going to spend the rest of their life together? Are they just united over the money?
They're on the beginning of their journey.
I think they're just Pearl's, platonic friends with benefits. That's all I think. I think that they both love the cat enough to be around each other.
No, see, you must have missed the balcony.
Oh, the balcony scene.
The balcony,
I forgot.
yeah.
I don't give a shit
It's
about
like,
that.
I love you.
No, but I agree.
He
At
doesn't
the
say
end,
I love you, but he's like, I've never thought about settling down or something.
Right.
yeah, I agree with you. End of the door. Oh, back door. Thanks.
Yeah. Movie done.
Bye.
And credits.
Employee parking lot. Understood. Yeah, I agree with you.
So actually, I looked up something here. So $1 million in 100 denominations
Mm-hmm.
weighs 22 pounds.
Okay, and he has.
So
16.
he has $16 million,
Oh wow.
which weighs 352 pounds.
in a messenger bag on his side.
There's no way he was holding this with one hand, two hands,
No.
and running around Puerto Rico.
Again, the 90s relied on people are dumb and they don't have the internets to be able to search and see how much this shit weighs.
You're right, because I did Google
I'm
this.
sorry. He can break bulletproof glass. He can
That's
carry. He can carry $16 million in one hand.
He's Mr. Incredible.
That's right.
352 pounds.
You know, I
is
just
$16
realized
million.
he's who Gabriel Byrne became at the end of Cool World, thus linking Cool World to this movie and making both movies absolute shit. Just want to point that out. No, so when Julianne Moore is doing her part, sort of, of the plan, and she slips and falls through the floor, I immediately went to Tom Hanks in Money Pit. That's why I said
Yes.
she money pitted in the middle of this damn movie. And it's just as laughable. I mean, it's just as pathetic because when he's running into the building and he goes and he's like looking up and he's in a different room than her feet are hanging down.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense, by the way, because what floor is she supposed to be on? She's supposed to be on like the third floor.
Right.
How are her feet on the first floor? There's so much of this movie that just doesn't make fucking
this
sense.
whole part, I feel like the movie is decently good up until this point.
See, I'm
when
the opposite, but
it just
yeah.
totally falls apart because of this insane plot
Plan,
to get him. Because like John said, just go out the back door.
Yeah.
Why would an assassin put his life on the line from some woman who is ditzy and can't shoot anybody?
I don't know. When
That too.
When Sylvester's talking about the plot falling apart, the plan falling apart, by the way, he's like, he's going to want to see my eyes. He looks up at the fucking window like 8 times.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
You know
eyes,
that.
eyes. I'm like Antonio Banderas. He's like hiding behind this column, but not really. I could take the shot. I'm not an assassin, and I could take the goddamn shot. He's not hidden at all. And then he's like, wait, hold on, let me step out of the car. Can you hear me, Electra? Outside. And he's like, he's going to want to see my eyes. A full 9 seconds go by where he's looking directly at him, and Antonio Banderas isn't pulling the trigger. I'm like,
Hold on.
They're
He
both
has to.
awful.
He has to dialogue first.
Oh,
yes.
that's right. I'm going to kill you with my eyes now. What the fuck is going on? What is happening in this movie?
Hey, yo,
It's
Electra,
so
we did it.
stupid. It's
did
so
it.
stupid. Oh, and then he has to go, Jasmine.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot with a fucking 22. Everything, by the way, is a 22 in this movie except for 2 guns.
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
The rifle that he's got trying to kill him outside the bank, and Nikolai's 9mm suppressed 9mm. Everything else is a 22. It's just bullshit. It's boring. It's just boring. I mean,
Well,
don't get me wrong. It's a fine round. It's
Towards
just
the
boring.
end, when I guess they were waiting for, basically waiting him out because he was
Right.
up there in the hotel, it's sweating his ass off, and Stallone's in the bank just eating fruit and
Listening
enjoying
to
the
stories.
Yes, enjoying the stories part. I'm like,
Right.
okay, whoa, next. Can
Yeah.
can we not tell stories now? Because you guys were like really, really fast, and then all of a sudden it's just a train crash.
Well, we have to sit and show that time is passing as Miguel melts in the hotel.
Well, and see, I was talking about this with the guys earlier, saying, okay, look, instead of telling stories, how about she just, like, you know, he asks her a question or something, and they just start talking, and then she ends up somehow through dialogue also letting him know that she likes him too.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
No, the relationship, again, the relationship to me is very spotty. And speaking, I'm going to jump just a little bit here to the very end after Nikolai and all that stuff happens. Which, by the way, this movie's set up for a sequel. Like, you see Miguel go over and shoot Nikolai in the head, right? Which
Right.
is
Yeah.
basically a guaranteed Nikolai's not coming back.
Right.
Antonio Banderas is not
Pacemaker in the brain.
shot in the head, pacemaker in the brain. Antonio Banderas is not shot in the head, right? So he could easily resurrect and come back as, asesinitos tú, dos asesinitos. Anyway,
boogaloo's.
right? But I hate,
The Wrath of Bane.
right? I hate the and they're spelled RATH.
Yes, exactly.
Oh god.
Someone rang.
I hate the ending it's like, it's not, let's go get Pearl a boyfriend, and then after that we can like go by the hospital. Meow. End of movie. I'm like, this is so fucking dumb. It's so awful. It's just not. It's not a real resolution. It wraps up on this like lighthearted note, but it's supposed to be. There's 2 dead bodies on the ground. We're ending the scene on 2 dead bodies, and this voiceover from these 2 morons who are walking out with $16 million on a fucking cat. I'm like, shoot the cat, kill the girl, take the money, be a man for the end of this movie, please.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
So John actually found the body count, the kill count in this movie.
8.
And for the Assassins movie, how much was it?
20.
Oh, exactly.
20 total.
Yeah.
20 total.
Listen,
And how
And-
many from the actual main man himself?
The actual the amazing assassin,
Robert
the one that Miguel Bain has modeled his life after, kills a total of 1.5 people.
1.5.
Yes.
Because
I'm
you're
not-
counting the duel.
Yes, I'm counting both him and Miguel shooting Nikolai.
Doing a Reservoir
half.
Dogs looking thing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
They're
so
on
he's
the side.
1.5.
1.5.
He kills Miguel, supposedly. Of course, he might have even done that according to Eddie's theory.
You're right. Well, yeah, because Miguel actually walked up to Nikolai and shot him in the head. Maybe he wasn't dead.
So technically 2. I'm going to say 1.5, and with Eddie's theory, possibly just a half a person.
well, yeah, because I mean, even
Or he didn't even kill anybody.
the guy in the swamp, he didn't kill the guy in the swamp.
No.
Right.
No,
Right? He didn't kill anybody at the funeral.
Right.
Right.
He didn't kill.
No, the only people he kills is Miguel
Possibly.
and half of Nikolai.
Right.
and Nikolai doesn't count because technically Miguel killed Nikolai.
No, they both killed.
They
Nikolai.
both
they
they
both
both
shot
shot
him.
into him. Yeah.
They both shot into him, but Miguel's the
Which
one
is
who.
half.
So-
I mean, they
who
put like
drilled
10
home.
rounds into
They
him.
they split the XP.
22s again. It's gonna hurt a lot. You can still die, but not.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's. I don't know. I
Well,
just hate this.
Well, let me
movie.
ask this. So I did not see the twist coming of Miguel coming back from the dead.
Nikolai?
Basically. Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not see that.
I didn't either.
When I was watching the movie, I thought when we first meet Julianne Moore's character, Elektra, I thought, okay, she's the contractor.
Okay.
Because of her, what gave me that feeling was that she is this computer whiz. She has something to gain with money.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So I thought she was the one who was pitting them two up for some reason that we didn't know at this point. But I thought it was going to be her.
What you were writing was a much better movie.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is after they up the ante to $20 million, they're in that car together eating lunch or something.
Yeah.
And she makes the comment. She goes, they're talking to the contractor. When that happened, I was like, okay, well, this person's replying, so that can't be her. But she does say, have you ever thought about where this person is? You know, could they be a mile from you, 10 miles, 100 miles? And
2 feet.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, a foot away?
Imagine how much better the movie had been if Nikolai never shows up, right? Mm-hmm. Miguel and Sylvester Stallone have the face-off moment because Miguel's on the ground and then he stands up and he's like, come on, Rath, we'll be okay, blah, blah, blah. So he goes over, he helps him up. They try to end on an amicable note.
And then she pulls a gun.
Well, no, hold on. So she puts on her glasses. Sylvester Stallone kills Miguel, quote unquote.
Right.
And then we see her with the glasses on. And as Sylvester Stallone is looking at Miguel's body, she whips out a gun and goes, oh, and by the way, that's no way to speak to a lady. Fucking much better movie. What you just wrote was a 10 times better movie.
And credits.
Not even credits. You
Amazing.
still go through and be like, by the way, I hate cats. And she fucking blasts the cat away. Kills the cat right there. Just shows she's like a cold-hearted bitch, right?
I like it.
With no heart whatsoever.
Oh my
gosh. And then she goes, Robert, you were always excellent, by the way. She kills Robert Rath.
No, I'm number one.
Takes the money and fucking walks out the door.
No, then she goes, happy birthday.
Right?
Happy birthday, asshole.
How much better of a movie would it be if they both die? Both assassins die,
right. Mm-hmm.
and the contractor, her, who's been sort of playing this like, almost a Kaiser Soze type character
that's
the
what
whole
I was
movie.
Thinking, yes.
Oh my God. Much better movie. Much better movie. You know what? You just dropped my score a little more on this movie. Way to go. You influenced my score. Way to be. Because you wrote a better movie in 4 seconds than these people were paid to make.
Well, you know what's interesting? So you know who who originally wrote this screenplay?
No.
It's the Wachowski brothers.
Wachowski?
The Wachowski.
Yeah.
So they're famous for writing The Matrix.
Yep.
And then other failed movies like Cloud Atlas,
Awful
Jupiter
movie.
Ascending.
Jupiter Ascending, with Channing Tatum and Tatum. I can't remember. And then what's her name? The one that's married to Ashton Kutcher. The hot one.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. Yes, thank you.
Anyway.
Yeah. It was an awful movie, by the way. It had a fucking werewolf in space. Anyway, go ahead.
So they wrote the original screenplay for this.
Okay.
But when they first started production, they brought in another writer named Brian Helgeland.
Okay.
Who's famous for writing a ton of great 90s movies like A Knight's Tale, LA Confidential, Man on Fire, other kinds of stuff that he has worked with Richard Donner with.
I'm waiting for the good list of movies that you were going to say.
I just threw off the top of my head. That's all I could think of.
It's not a great resume. I'm just going to say. A Knight's Tale. Oh, sign him up.
Well, yeah, it was. You're right. Knight's Tale gets a 3.
I like Knight's Tale. Anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, so he was brought in to do a script rewrite.
Okay.
While they just started production. Well, the Wachowski brothers... Wachowski. Whatever.
Go ahead.
Chefkowski.
The Wachowski brothers, they apparently they did not like the changes.
Okay.
So they petitioned to have their names cut from the credits.
Okay, nice.
And forfeit their fee or whatever, their pay or whatever. But the Writers Guild of America denied their request.
So let me ask you this: how much of the script is them?
See, I don't know.
Because I'm wondering because you said A Knight's Tale, right? Mm-hmm. Well, kind of a comedy. What was the other one you said a minute ago besides LA Confidential?
Man on Fire.
Okay, that's not so funny. But LA Confidential, there's some humor to that one too. So I wonder if all the humorous bullshit that was added, that was obviously Antonio Banderas' focus, was him, and then the serious part of this movie was the Wachowskis.
Well, we'll see. You've also got in his resume, The Postman, Payback, Mystic River.
That's the other one I was trying to think of.
Yeah, Man on Fire, which I think you said. Mm-hmm. 42.
That's it. Yeah.
See, I like Payback too, and Payback though has that same like serious tone with humor added to it. So I'm guessing he's the humor in this movie, and it doesn't.
It might be.
It doesn't do well. I still think though that had they paid you $10 and maybe like a beer, you would have written a better movie than both
beer.
of these decent writers. We'll say it that way. Both sets of these decent writers came up with.
At 12. At 12, you would have written a better movie.
Possibly.
Yeah. Maybe. I would have settled for a beer at 12.
Yeah, right?
And a popsicle.
Yeah.
We know what you would have settled for at 12. Don't worry. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So I also know what Stallone was paid for this movie.
Millions.
Yeah.
20 million. Was it 20 million or 16? Tell me it was 16.
It was 15.
Oh.
It was
Close,
yeah,
so
it was
close.
16 million would have been funny.
Yeah,
That would
it
have
was
been
15.
great.
Listen, I get it in the movie. How about in real life?
And I'll pick it up all by myself.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
I was laughing while I was
know.
trying to do it.
Yeah.
Couple other things that I wanted to. I did see an interview with Richard Donner saying that he thinks that the movie would have been better if the roles of Stallone and Banderas were swapped. So Banderas would play Robert Rath, and Sylvester Stallone would play the Miguel character.
Except for the 20 years in age that they're separated, or 10
Yeah,
years.
you're absolutely right. That
10
doesn't make
years
sense
in
at all.
age that
No.
they're separated, and then I don't know. I couldn't see. And, to me, Sylvester Stallone doesn't play a good baddie. Period.
Right.
He just doesn't have it.
He was kind of slow and frumpy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's
He's
like
slow and frumpy in every
Well,
movie.
he's old.
yeah,
he's
he's
an
old.
old assassin. He doesn't want to do this
But he's
anymore.
not that old in this. Well, okay, in real life, in this movie, he's not that
Right,
old.
right.
So he comes across as just being, I don't know, to me, it's just laughable. I just don't think of him as being a baddie. He doesn't do a good job. He's fucking Rambo.
Right.
He's Rambo and Rocky. And then you're
Yeah.
going to be like, okay, no, you're an assassin. You might as well, I mean, literally, you could pick almost anybody else. You might as well say you're going to make, I don't know.
How about Sean Connery as Robert Rath?
I think that would have been better.
Yeah.
By far.
Because he agreed to do it,
Oh, wow. Seriously?
but scheduling conflicts with some movie that he was. I didn't write down what movie he was working on, but yeah. So he actually agreed to do the Robert Rath role, but
Yeah, I
because
think-
of scheduling conflicts, he couldn't do it.
I think that would have made a lot more sense, especially with the whole Nikolai aspect, where they even had to work a line in where Nikolai's like, "Oh, Robert, the years have been good to you because you are obviously 25 years younger than me, and somehow we were friends and competitors for years when I was in the USSR." It just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Right.
The whole thing, if you think about the timelines, make zero sense.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, Sylvester Stallone is supposed to be, I don't know, 55, and Julianne Moore at 21 is somehow shacking up with him. That's what's happening now. It
Well,
just
he's-
doesn't make sense.
He's $16 million.
That's
more
true.
richer.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, some other people that were interested
Mm-hmm.
in playing the role were Michael Douglas.
Also would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Had more life in him than Sylvester Stallone's overly pumped ass.
And this one, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh God,
Oh.
same movie.
The same exact movie.
Same movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, same movie with "Get to the chopper" every 5 minutes.
So for the role of
Puma.
It's not a puma. What
It's
did
not
you
a
say?
tuma.
It's not a puma.
No, it's
no, it's a leopard. What the fuck?
I'm gonna John Malkovich it. It's not a tumor.
There you go.
Pearl the Cat.
God.
No, but the role of Miguel
Yeah.
was offered to Christian Slater.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Christian Bale. I
No,
was like,
Christian Slater. Yeah.
No.
Eh.
No.
Yeah, but he turned it down.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it would have been just as bad, to be honest.
Good role. Yep. So Kyle,
Yes.
what do we have in the way of budgetizing this movie?
Too much. Yeah, it was actually made for $50 million.
Really,
Estimated.
I was curious to know how much it was.
Yeah, so too much, and all of that was probably salaries.
So Sylvester
15 million went to Stallone.
That's what I was going to say. So
Yeah.
Stallone gets 15. Banderas probably got 5. Julianne Moore gets maybe 5 to 7. And the rest of the characters on there get under $100,000.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
And then you got all the traveling from Seattle to New York to all these different places because I think they were shot on location. I remember
Knowing
Seattle,
Richard Donner, yeah.
I remember Seattle looking like Seattle, and then New
It
York
was filmed in Seattle.
and
yeah.
and New York's obviously New York, and then they're traveling to Puerto Rico for the Caribbean island scenes. So travel and all the different crews and shit, yeah, there's your money getting eaten up pretty quick.
So the opening weekend for this was October 8th, 1995, with the estimate of $9.3 million for the opening weekend.
Oh, okay.
So kind of promising, I guess.
Yeah.
Back then. Now, the question is, did it make its money back?
Did it make $50 million
Yeah.
back? You know, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Over the course of, 26 years?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
You going to say yes? Okay. Eddie, what do you say?
I don't know.
What
I'm going to say it's made like probably like 75 or something.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I would say it probably did make its money back because people are stupid. So, yeah.
It did not make its money back.
So I have more hope in humanity.
It missed. It
You
missed.
need to have more.
It missed the mark
Oh, dear.
by $20 million.
Jesus.
Wow, that bad.
So it made almost half of the money in its opening weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like 30.3 to be exact.
That word that word of mouth's a bitch.
Yeah.
That first group of people
Well, in
that
the
watched it
90s.
went, don't waste your money.
Yeah.
Keep your 45 cents. I don't know how much movies cost in the
We've
90s.
been like Eddie. We've seen it 12 times. It's terrible every time. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, for Rotten Tomatoes, the audience gave it 45%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the critics, however, totally different. They gave it 16%.
Ooh. Ouch. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't either. I don't think it's that bad.
It's not a 16% movie.
No.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
I mean, we may have watched a different movie because we literally just got done discussing how it's at least 25 minutes too long,
Yeah.
ballpark, and none of the characters seem to be acting in the same movie. Like, I still think Antonio Banderas thought this was a comedy, and Sylvester Stallone thought he was making, I don't know, a drama, possibly.
Yeah.
And Julianne Moore is just like, I'm just lucky to be in a movie. What are we doing, guys? Oh, my breasts aren't out in this one. This is excellent. You know, I mean, which, by the way, she was excellent. She was excellent in Boogie Nights.
I honestly think that Antonio Banderas outacted everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
I think he overacted in this movie, but I do think he probably was better.
He was
yes.
to me the most real in like when he's moving from cover to cover of okay, I need to calm down. So he's like breathing really heavy. So
he tried.
There's tactics in his acting. So it's like he's trying to do what an assassin would do.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, but Stallone's just like, okay, I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna run over here now and shoot, bang. Die.
I think Banderas tried. I do think he
Yes.
put in the effort. I really like the scene. I really like his face whenever he walks into the bank and sees Sylvester Stallone just sitting there drinking.
Yes.
His
like,
face is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's priceless.
But again, it's the comedic elements. I mean, he's just, I don't know. It's very comedy to me. I don't know.
Well, John, since this was your pick, you get the honors of going first to pick the Screen Riot score.
Well, again, I don't think the movie was terrible. It wasn't great by any means, but it wasn't terrible. I do agree that it should have been between 15 and 25 minutes shorter. But that being said, I didn't find myself going, man, this is going way too long while I was watching it. I was actually invested in the story, so it kept my attention, which was pleasant. Because oftentimes I'm watching some of the films like Cool World last week. Holy moly! I'm going, when is this thing gonna be over?
I'm only 10 minutes in. Good Lord.
I know, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's aspects I liked. There's like that. There's aspects that I absolutely hated. I didn't like that the gunshots weren't true. You know, that kind of thing. I don't like the one-handed typing that. You know, you're obviously there's numbers coming up on the screen, but you're typing on letters.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. It's like, just put a little bit more effort into what's shown, you know, on screen.
I already got paid.
Yeah,
If
he
you're
didn't
getting
care.
paid $15 million, yeah.
Learn how to
exactly.
type.
Could you can type numbers.
Guys, he was
Yeah.
preoccupied with Planet Hollywood, okay? Just give him a break, okay?
Oh, that's something I haven't heard in a long time.
I gotta hang out with Bruce and Arnold later.
But no, I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not. Again, it's not a great movie. It's not terrible. Like It's not Cool World bad. I'm gonna give this a 4.2.
Okay, a 4.2 for John.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm in agreement that it definitely needs to be shorter. I went over some scenes that I would, without hesitation, I would cut out. I hated the expositional dialogue in this. There's so many better ways they could have got that information across on screen. Mm-hmm. You know, filmmaking is more of a show, not tell medium.
They were film noiring it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which probably is going to influence Eddie's score even more.
Giving him a headache over here just saying the word noir.
Oh,
yeah.
my head.
I don't know. It was entertaining, like you said. I like the scene in when the two are having their heart to hearts. Those two scenes that bookend, like you were talking about earlier, Kyle. Yep. You know, in the taxi and in the bank. I do like those two scenes. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm gonna go 4.5. I think.
Okay, so as usual,
you really liked it, but you know,
no, I didn't. I believe whenever John picked it, I was like, "Oh God, no," because I've seen this since I was a child, and I remember
you've seen every single movie at least 1,000 times.
I'm sorry,
since you were like 3.
He's already seen the new Top Gun that hasn't come out.
Oh,
yet.
that's right.
He's probably seen it like 30 times.
At least 5 times. Yeah,
I'm sure he's already mansplained it to Tom Cruise.
Probably. You see, when you're flying a jet, you know, it doesn't really...
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, go ahead.
No,
go ahead, Eddie.
It's fine.
You've seen every movie since you were 3. That's good.
Listen, all I'm saying is I've seen this movie enough times when I was, I don't know, I think I was like 14 when this movie came out. So, yeah, I've seen this movie enough. It's not good as an action movie. It's not good as an assassin movie. It's kind of okay if you think of it as a comedy. But other than that, I've got 2 scenes that I like in the whole goddamn movie. Other than that, I've got nothing for it. Antonio Banderas, in my mind anyway, did all of his acting the best that he could so that he could get Desperado later and do it better. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's a bunch of stereotypes thrown together and not really well done. You've got like the 90s
it is
hacker.
Kind of tropish.
Oh, fuck. It's completely tropish. You've got the young upstart, you know, I'm the rascal, I'm the outlaw, I'm even an outlaw among the outlaws. And then you've got the old guard and you've got the stupid hacker, 90s hacker bullshit running around with floppy disks in her hands. And it's just not done well. It's just not done well. Mm-hmm. There's some creativity, but most of it, again, is just laughable. For me, anyway, this movie is 2 hours and 12 minutes too long. So for me, it's going to be a 1.5.
Okay,
and that's me being polite to Antonio Banderas.
Wow,
as my Spanish brethren.
Gotcha,
Kyle.
All right, so yeah, bringing it home. I actually enjoyed the movie to a point. I think it was I had every intent to really, really like this movie until Tell Me a Story came up at the very end. I was like, oh my gosh, you're really close to like sealing the deal and getting this cash and getting the hell out of Dodge, but you stop the whole train and you want to tell a story right now? Like, what is going on in this movie right now? So like the first hour and a half I think is really good. I really like some of the cinematography in this. I like some of the camera angles in the apartment scene, where I always like when cameras play with mirrors in a set, because I know filming in a room with mirrors is very difficult.
Yeah.
But when actually like cinematographers use mirrors to showcase like where the people are in a room at the same time, I like that.
Yeah, like we saw that in Enemy at the Gates. Done really well.
Yes. And I like how like they even mentioned, or Stallone said something about, it's like, oh, I didn't shoot mirrors or something like that. Yeah. I guess when they were talking about how smart they were, but I liked the interactions with Antonio Banderas and Sylvester Stallone's characters. I like that interaction a lot. As a whole, I think I was gonna probably rate this like a 5, like an even 5. It's just that middle of the road action movie. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just okay.
Okay, so you're giving it a 5, so then that means that Assassins is going to be a 3.8 on average.
Yeah, it's a lot lower than what IMDb gave it. Like a lot of the other people, it was like on average 6.3 or something.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just making a face.
I know.
I am often confused.
You're
but
like,
it's okay.
Oh my gosh, that's way too high.
It's
like,
okay. I thought John was coming down to the bottom 10 again, but I guess I was outplayed by my brethren here again. So it's fine. It's fine.
So now Kyle, you're the last one this month. So this movie's going to be yours, but we have to spin for the genres.
Okay, here we go.
Going back in time.
It's gonna be romance.
Romance. How about that? All right, so I'm actually going to pick a film from 2013, Eddie.
What?
I know.
Who are you?
It is in this millennia. Isn't that amazing?
Let's see what it is, though.
All right, so this movie is called About Time. Doubt you've seen this.
I don't know. It sounds kind of familiar.
Well, it's about time. You picked
about
a movie that's in the 2000s.
I actually really like this movie. The synopsis is, at age 21, Tim discovers that he can travel in time and change what happens and has happened in his own life. His decision to make his world a better place by getting a girlfriend turns out not to be as easy as you might think. So, About Time from 2013. It was rated R, but it is 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Okay. So if you want to follow along at home, just go to justwatch.com, look up About Time, and you can see all the places that it's streaming or where you can rent it or purchase it so that you can join in on the fun. Don't forget to go to our website, screenriot.net. Check out all of our other reviews that we've done. Commission a movie. Be one of the first ones to do it. We've got a couple people that are planning on doing it, but they just need to pull the trigger. So once we do that, we'll do some commissioned reviews, and that should be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget to subscribe and like us and do all that other junk on our social media. And tell people about the show. And with that, we thank you for listening, and we'll see you here next week.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.